If you ever hear screaming from a house that's been empty for years, don't try to be brave. Don't try to record it. And whatever you do, don't go inside, because 3 months ago, that's exactly what I did. And I still wake up every night at 3:17 a.m. hearing the same scream echo in my room, even though I'm moved miles away from that street. It started when my cousin dared me to enter the old house at the end of our neighborhood. The one everyone called the House of Screams, a place parents used to scare kids with, saying a family once lived there, and one night the neighbors heard nonstop screaming, but when police broke in, the house was completely empty, no bodies, no blood, no sign anyone had ever lived there except the furniture covered in dust and a dinner table set for 4. And ever since then, people claimed that at exactly 3:17 a.m., you could hear a woman screaming from inside, long and desperate, like she was being dragged across the floor. I didn't believe it, I thought it was just another creepy story made to keep kids away from an abandoned property. So one night, I decided to prove everyone wrong and record the truth for my channel. Thinking it would be easy views, easy likes, just me walking through a dusty old house and laughing at shadows. But the moment I stepped through the broken front door, my phone's signal dropped to 0. The air felt heavy like I was breathing through wet cloth, and the door behind me slowly creaked shut on its own, even though there was no wind. And that's when I heard for the first time. Not a loud scream. Not yet. Just a soft whisper from somewhere upstairs, a woman's voice barely audible, saying my name. The moment I heard my name whispered from upstairs, my first thought wasn't that it was a ghost. It was that someone was inside messing with me. Maybe another YouTuber trying to scare me for views, so I forced myself to laugh and called out, "Very funny, come out." But my voice sounded strange in that house, like the walls swallowed it before it could echo back. And as I took the first step toward the staircase, the wooden floor beneath me let out a long groan that almost sounded human, like it was in pain. And that's when my phone buzzed, even though there was no signal. It was a notification from my recording app saying face detected, which made no sense because I was alone and the camera was pointed forward. And when I slowly looked at the screen, my heart nearly stopped because behind me, at the end of the hallway near the door that had just shut on its own, there was a tall, dark shape standing completely still, too tall to be normal, its head almost touching the ceiling. And before I could turn around to see it with my own eyes, the screen glitched. The face detection box moved up the staircase instead, as if whatever had been behind me was now upstairs waiting. And then the whisper came again, clearer this time, stretched and trembling like someone trying to scream, but holding it back, repeating my name over and over until it blended into a low, broken sob. And without thinking, I started climbing the stairs, telling myself this was fake. This was adrenaline. This was my mind playing tricks. But deep down, I knew one terrifying thing. Whatever was calling me inside that house didn't want to scare me away. It wanted me to come closer. Halfway up the stairs, the temperature dropped so fast that I could see my own breath. And with every step, the whisper turned into something heavier, like someone crying through clenched teeth. And when I reached the top, I noticed 4 doors along the hallway, each slightly open, each leading into complete darkness. But at the very end, there was one door fully closed with deep scratch marks carved into the wood from the inside. Long, desperate lines, like someone had tried to claw their way out. And before I could even think, the crying stopped and the silence became unbearable, the kind of silence that presses against your ears until you start hearing your own heartbeat louder than anything else. And that's when my phone buzzed again with another face-detected notification, except this time the camera wasn't facing forward anymore. It had switched to selfie mode on its own, and on the screen I saw my own face, pale, frozen, and right behind my shoulder, standing so close it almost touched me, was a woman with her mouth stretched open in a silent scream. Her eyes completely black, her skin gray and cracked like old porcelain. And the worst part was that she wasn't looking at the camera. She was looking directly at me in real life, inches from my ear, and before I could turn around, I felt her breath cold and damp, and she finally let out the scream everyone in the neighborhood talked about. But it wasn't loud like I expected. It was sharp and high and right inside my head, like it was coming from behind my eyes. And suddenly all 4 doors in the hallway slammed shut at the same time, trapping me at the end of that corridor with the only door left slowly creaking open by itself. The door at the end of the hallway opened inch by inch, the hinges dragging slowly like they hadn't moved in years. And even though every part of my body was screaming at me to run, my legs wouldn't move. It felt like the floor itself was holding me there. And inside that room, I could see the faint outline of a dining table set for 4, plates covered in thick dust, chairs slightly pulled back as if someone had just stood up. And then I realized something that made my blood run cold: the dust. On the floor showed fresh footprints for sets leading away from the table and stopping right at the doorway where I was standing, as if whatever had been sitting there had walked straight into me. And that's when my phone started playing audio on its own, a recording I never made, filled with overlapping screams, a man shouting, children crying, a woman begging for someone to stop, and beneath all of it a deep voice whispering the same sentence over and over: "There's always room for one more." And suddenly the chairs around the table began to slide across the floor, slowly turning toward me, with scraping against tile in a way that made my teeth hurt, and one empty chair at the head of the table pulled back by itself as if inviting me to sit. While behind me, I could hear breathing again, not just one presence, but several, surrounding me in the hallway. And I finally understood the truth about the House of Screams. The family was never found because they were never taken out of the house. They were still here, and they weren't trapped inside the walls. They were trapped inside the scream, reliving it every night at 3:17, waiting for someone new to take their place at the table. The empty chair kept sliding back slowly, patiently, like it knew I had no choice. And the moment the clock on my phone changed to 3:17 a.m., every sound in the house stopped at once. No breathing, no scraping, no whispers, just complete silence. And then all 4 chairs around the table filled at the same time with figures I hadn't seen walk in: a man with hollow eyes, 2 children staring blankly ahead, and the woman from the hallway, now sitting at the head, her mouth stretched wider than humanly possible, and they all turned toward the empty seat waiting for me, their heads moving in perfect sync. And before I could step back, I felt invisible hands grab my shoulders and force me down into the chair, the wood ice cold against my skin. And suddenly I couldn't move or scream because the scream wasn't coming from outside anymore. It was coming from my own mouth, but I couldn't hear it. I could only see the family watching me calmly as my vision blurred and everything went dark. I woke up the next morning outside the house, lying on the sidewalk, my phone beside me still recording. But when I played the footage back, there was no woman, no figures, no moving chairs, just me sitting alone at a dusty table, staring into nothing, screaming at the top of my lungs while 4 empty chairs faced me. And since that night, every single day at exactly 3:17 a.m., my phone camera activates by itself and shows me sitting at that same table again, even though I'm in my own bedroom. And sometimes, just sometimes, there are 5 chairs visible instead of 4. So if you ever hear screaming from an empty house in your neighborhood, don't ignore it, because the House of Screams is always looking for one more seat at the table. And if you're watching this right now, check the time, and before you scroll away, subscribe and turn on notifications, because if your phone turns on at 3:17 tonight, you want to know you're not the only one who heard it.